Do be seated, and we're now going to watch the presentation that the Deanery has prepared as a short celebration of faith in this Deanery and through the generations.
So the Deanery has a wide variety of buildings and people, but the common thread is one of love and support, mutual care and attention.
The way I find the Deanery most helpful is in relationships, if I'm honest. It's the meetings where we share together, we can be open with one another, where it is real, where we're not bragging about our latest successes, but we're coming alongside one another.
I've noticed in recent times that where I've got a family living in Maidenbough, but the children worship with Richard at St Andrews, when we've had a funeral, it seems to be natural and sensible for him to come over here to take the service. And because there's quite a lot of interconnection around Crawley, it seems to me that we have an obligation to become friends so we can work together easily and simply.
Thankful for our church for lovely services such as tonight's carol service, and also the fact there's a lot of history in the village. I was christened at the church, I was married at the church, my children have been christened at the church, and I have continued to.
I've seen the Lord's faithfulness in keeping this church community thriving and growing. Seeing God change people's lives, challenge them in ways that I've not seen before. Another was a young woman who really felt God was calling on her life, but she had no Christian background. But she felt the need for God. And so she just looked up, walked past the church, thought, I'll look that church up. And then sort of turned up one morning, 10:30, doors were closed, thought it was shut, but somehow pushed through. And in everything, I'm going to say that's the Lord working. And then she started worshipping with us. And then she started doing a course, one-on-one with a member of our church family. And she gave her life to the Lord. And just a few weeks ago, right here, she was baptized. And it was such a joy to see the Lord's work in her life. Yes, he had used us a bit, but I was even more struck by how he had brought her in his own way and his own faithfulness.
And the thing that I most like and most grateful for in this community is all the love and support which has really helped to get me through this. And we all support each other, whoever's having a bad time in one way or the other. It's just really, really a wonderful place to be.
First lockdown came in 2020. Bishop Martin came in October to consecrate the new burial ground the first time in over 1,000 years. It was a joy to remind him that his Anglo-Saxon predecessor, the Bishop of Chelsea, did the first job. It was fantastic to see the people who came to share that great blessing. And of course, we had also the huge joy and a piece of history being made when Bishop Ruth came. She is the first woman to be a bishop in the Diocese of Chichester. She was the first to be ordained, consecrated by the first female Bishop of London. And the first person she ordained was Greta, who is our NSM. And that took place here in this ancient church. So history was made twice in a difficult time for everybody. And I think that was a marvellous example of God's steadfastness and faithfulness, that not even the pandemic can derail his purposes. So we rejoice in that.
You come in, you get inspired, you increase your faith, you increase your friendship, and you just build and increase your family.
I remember a church warden of mine once told me their memory verse because they thought I needed it. This is what you want a church warden to do. And they said, stand firm, let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, for you know that your labour in the Lord is not in vain. And that's really what the Deanery should be doing. It should be encouraging one another to keep hopeful even when ministry seems overwhelming, that we can stand firm and we can give ourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because we know our labour in the Lord is not in vain. Why? Because the Lord Jesus rose from the dead.
Shall we give a round of applause? Absolutely wonderful. You've set the bar very high for the other deanery celebration services. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joel at Crawley, I think, who helped with the video editing and the organising of that. Thank you to everybody who spoke on that video. Just a snapshot of life, of mission and witness